Hi, my name is Kim Vermark. I am the author of the book series, The Chronicles of Nadine, and welcome to Author Chat. Today, we're very privileged to have Hush Naidoo with us. Hush is a photographer. He's been a photographer for over 33 years, and what's amazing about him is he has photographed some fantastically famous people. People like Elton John. I know who that is because of my age, but the younger audience might not know who it is. Will Smith, wow, Johnny Clegg, Chris Rock, and quite a few others, which you'll see later on in the profile. And Hush has been working with the South African Film and Television Authority for the last 10 years. So he's had the opportunity to see some really fantastic celebrities. But what I really love about Hush is that even though he's photographed some of these absolutely fantastic people, he makes you feel like you are a celebrity. He makes you feel like you're important, and most importantly, he helps you to feel relaxed, which is very important because authors are not known for wanting to be in the public eye. So we tend to get a little bit anxious and nervous when it comes to photographs. And personally, I know I blink a heck of a lot when I'm having photographs taken. A lot of people complain about that, and that makes me feel even more intimidated. But Hush has just been able to make me feel relaxed in my photo shoots, and I'm so grateful for the way that he treats me when we are doing photographs. So today's message is really about public relations photographs, working with a photographer, and how do you get the best out of your photographs. So I'm going to shoot over to Hush, and we're going to start off by asking him a few questions. Hush, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The first question, obviously, is the most important one to me, is why is a profile picture so important?
A good profile picture is extremely important for your social media, especially for your, depending on which social media you're on. We have, a lot of us photographers, we have looked at a lot of people's profile pictures that they have on various social media. So you have LinkedIn, which is very important for a lot of us in the business industry, but you'll have a person sitting on the beach showing his abs off, or her in a bikini on a LinkedIn profile. And that doesn't say very much for the person. When people are recruiting, they look at a good profile picture. They want to see what type of person you are. So we always try to explain to our clients, we try to find out from our clients actually what is the profile picture for. And seeing that we speak mainly to authors, a good profile picture for an author for his back page or for his social media is extremely important. It needs to bring you across as a sophisticated person, as a relaxed person. If you're going to have a profile picture of a very busy background, it doesn't really say much about you. So we normally would like to do a clean, versatile photograph of you, and then load up a different picture for different social media. So as I just mentioned with LinkedIn, you need a good business picture. So a nice headshot against a nice plain background. Normally it really shows you off as a business person. Your Facebook business page also needs to be a nice, clean, crisp photograph. And then your other personal pages can be playful pictures. It could be pictures of you and your family. But also a profile picture lends us to be able to, if we search for you, we'll be able to see that you actually are a person and you do exist. And then we can be able to have a good relationship with you on that basis. So a good profile picture, I believe a good business profile picture is actually extremely important.
You know, it's very true when you say that they can see a real person. I find that like sometimes people put pictures of their kids as their profile pictures because their kids are really important to them. And then I keep on saying, but you know, I'm not actually communicating with your child. I'm communicating with you. So I want to know who you are. That takes me to my next question. In terms of studio versus natural setting. So when we did our photo shoots, I wanted to have it in a studio because I found that was more versatile. Because always add a background to the back of it. But there are some people who favor having it in a natural setting. What would you say is the best for authors?
So I've been thinking about this. So for authors, we need to just sit for a few minutes and discuss their book with them. So if your book is on like a scientific book or analyst book or a business book, I would suggest we do a nice corporate headshot in studio, a couple of versatile pictures of you sitting, standing, that type of thing. We could also choose different backgrounds. We can have white, or we could have a red, excuse me, a red or a gray or something like that. If you're writing a book on for example, flowers or a gardening book or something like that, I would then suggest that we bring in those elements. We can still do studio, but then we bring in those elements into the studio, a big fern plant or flowers and that, or we do it outside in a nursery and something like that. So then it just sort of attends to show what you're writing about, that you're not just sitting against a white background, very prim and proper, but you're a gardening person, you actually with the garden, you're in the garden and that. So I would really suggest that we discuss that first with you before we suggest just studio or nature.
Super, thanks very much for that. Now, the next one is obviously I'm a lady. I'm in my late 40s and I've had 3 children. So I know that we need to be natural and you know, look ourselves, but a lot of times people have got body image issues. And what are the best kinds of poses to make sure that people see you and not your flaws?
Okay, but a lot of us older photographers, we try and be as spontaneous with our clients as possible. So depending on your body type and your body size and those things like that, things like walking towards the camera very slowly, not too fast, so we can get a nice image, that gives us a very sort of slimline picture. Crossing your arms and sort of leaning to one side also tends to show us that show the person that look, you're confident and you not and it's very flattering for your body. Leaning your torso, laughter really brings out a lot with a person. So sort of leaning towards the camera, laughing, a big smile, things like that help a lot. Using props, I find using a chair or sort of that standing behind the chair, sort of leaning on it is very nice. Sitting is very nice, but depending on how you sit, we'll get you to sit more to the side and sitting forward, not back, sort of leaning into the chair, but sitting right to the edge of the chair. And then, yeah, wearing an outfit that complements your body. You know, a lot of people will tend to come to studio and the outfit that they're wearing really doesn't complement their body at all. And you've seen parts of the bulges of their body that they don't want to see. But it's because of the dress or because of the shirt that he's wearing or because of the tight tank top he's wearing that's actually showing off what he didn't want to show off. So it all depends on your body type, and then you sort of wear things. And we will play with you. We'll get the poses right for you if you're wearing the most flattering clothing when you come to studio or outside.
Thanks for that. You know, I know that sometimes the things that you feel very conscious about, you tend to accentuate that. So I noticed that when I wore my dress for the photo shoot, I'm very conscious about my tummy. And when I didn't put my hand in front of my tummy, you actually didn't really notice it that much. But as soon as I put my hands in front of my tummy, which is like almost like a protective gesture, it draws your eyes towards it. So that's why it's like quite important to have someone that really knows what they're talking about. Okay, so we have to ask this question because you photograph so many famous people. I'm looking for a bit of an anecdote, some famous person that you photographed, how that went, and something that can just make people understand a day in the life of Hush.
There's one story I tell a lot to people because it showed the humblest man that I photographed. And that was one of our ex-presidents, Madiba. I was having to photograph him with a group of students, and when I got to his house, Carte Blanche was there, and they asked me to please get a quick photograph of a group shot of them with Madiba. And I was standing outside waiting for him, and he came outside, and I said to him, "Good day, Mr. President, I need to photograph you with the Carte Blanche team." And he said, "Yes, okay, I'll have to do that." And I said, "Mr. President, where would you like to stand?" And he looked at me and he said, "My son, you are the photographer, you are the professional. Where would you like me to stand?" for the next 10 minutes, you direct me and I will stand wherever you want me to stand. I thought, for such a great man and to be so humble, where I photograph other people that I wouldn't say is less important, but other people that are just, by the way, that they will demand that I photograph them from this side, and they demand that they'll stand here, and they'll demand, to give so many demands on us as photographers, where I had this man who did so much for the country and so much for the world that just was so down to earth, and like he gave me permission to direct him the way I saw him and where he should be and what the best light was and things like that. So yeah, that was one of my most inspirational stories that I always carry with me, working with him. And then I got the privilege of working with him for a whole year after that, which just made my life so much more richer for knowing him.
That's a lovely story. I really like that. And from the movie star perspective, I mean, you worked with Will Smith. Come on, tell us a little bit about working with Will Smith.
Will Smith was an amazing man. I had the privilege of working with Will Smith on 3 occasions when he came out to South Africa for his for 2 of his movies, and then for becoming an ambassador for Madiba's campaign. The very first time I met Will Smith, he came to the airport and that. He came for Ali, and I got him to do these amazing poses, sort of boxing people in the face and that. And then we arrived back at the airport, at the hotel, and we were going to do a press conference. And he said he's just going to freshen up. And my client said, Ash, can you please go check where he is? And I walked into the dressing room where he was, and he was fast asleep. I mean, he was jet lagged. And I just said to his PA, he said, give him half an hour and then wake him up and please tell him to come down for the press conference. We literally started the press conference an hour late. And I just said to her, no, he's just freshening up. Just give him a few minutes. He's just getting ready. But he was a human being. I just left him to sleep. So he was an amazing actor, amazing person, not just an actor, amazing person to work with. He also, we took photographs of him and his family with Madiba. He was down to earth, also humble, asked us, where would you like us to do? What would you want to do? And he was up for anything. Like I said earlier on, I wanted to get him to box. He was like, ready, okay, let's do this boxing thing. So yeah, no, very, very, very nice young man.
Okay, so burning question for a lot of people, touch-upping photographs. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? When is there a time when it's absolutely essential?
Okay, I don't really like touching up photographs. It's been, when I started in photography, it was darkroom experience in photography. We had to print our own photographs and things like that. There wasn't very much time to touch up photographs when you're printing by hand. Nowadays, with social media, with digital program software we all got, everybody thinks it's very easy to sit and touch up a photograph. It actually takes a lot of time to sit and touch a photograph up. I do not shape your body. I will not make you thinner in a photograph. I will not do those things. I will not add muscles to your photograph because you haven't got muscles. The touch-ups that I do is cosmetic touch-ups that is not part of you. So if you woke up the morning of the shoot with a huge pimple on your face, I will take that out. If you woke up a couple of days ago and you all of a sudden woke up with red spots on your face or on your neck, I'll clean that out for you. But I will not take out scars because I believe that's part of you. And as I said earlier on, I won't reshape your body for you because I don't believe that's necessary. That's part of you. That's who you are. We don't want a photograph of you looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger where you actually look like somebody else on your profile picture because then people will ask, who's this? Who are you? So no, I don't do a lot of, and I have been asked that. I've been asked by numerous people to please make their arms thinner or to make their waist thinner or to, can I add a muscle to here for him because he's wearing a tank top and he's not very muscular. And I know there are photographers out there that do that. I know there's photographers that manipulate their photographs to make you look like somebody else. But I'm one of the old school photographers. I don't believe in manipulation of images. So yeah, I'll do very cosmetic touch-ups to your photographs. You've
Because
had
at the end of the day, we want to be
others.
authentic. So,
Yeah.
like, I get being authentic, but just like the person inside me that craves too much chocolate, like, oh, darn it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
warning, don't have your photographs taken too soon after Christmas dinner. Okay, so is there anything else that you'd like to cover that hasn't been in my list of questions? Things, little tips and hints that people can use in terms of photography and how it's going to affect your image out there as an author?
I was going to say that we need to meet. A lot of clients literally phone us up and say, "Oh, can we do a shoot tomorrow? We want to come through the studio and we just want to do a shoot tomorrow." And over the years, we found it's nice to meet with a person before, if we can, a day or two before, to discuss exactly your requirements that you need. And we can also give our input as the creative side and say to you, maybe that won't work, let's try that. If you want to come to studio and you're a flamethrower, it's not going to work in studio with fire, you know. We'd like to maybe then suggest another venue. So we'd like to really meet with the client beforehand, discuss, do a bit of what they call in industry a recce, so that we get to understand each other and exactly what we're going to do. I'll just use a wedding, for example. I always say to brides and grooms, can I do a pre-shoot with you? And a lot of them say, no, 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 it's not necessary. I said, guys, understand that we need to do a pre-shoot to get to know each other. Because on the day, you all of a sudden, I ask you to do stuff and you go, no, but I don't want to do that. So if we do a pre-shoot with you for a wedding, then that's great. Then we can at least get to know each other. Obviously, for authors in that, we can't do a pre-shoot, but just to meet with you or even discuss on the phone, just or even a Zoom call beforehand, just to discuss exactly what is required and what you are needing for your shoot. And we can sort of give you our input as well. I I'm very flexible when it comes to photography. I believe it must be spontaneous, it must be fun, it must be full of energy. But I'm not going to get you to balance on a tightrope if you're not a tightrope walker, because that's what you feel you want to do. You know, it's not going to work because something's going to happen. So yeah, meeting with the client beforehand is one of the most important things, I think. And also not unrealistic expectations from the photographer and yourself. Um, I've known people to ask me to do some unrealistic things like, can I climb a tree as high as possible to get an overhead shot? No, we can't because that's dangerous for me. Um, that type of thing. Or like earlier, like I was saying, asking me to reshape your body just because you feel that you're not, you got too many, you know, you got a little bit too many pounds. I'm going to give another little antidote. It's actually quite fun. And I don't do this all the time. I had two beautiful young women that came to studio once, and they were fairly overweight. But I had the most amazing time in studio with these two young ladies because they were full of energy, full of fun. They didn't care that they had a little bit extra pounds on them. They were dancing, they were jumping, they were changing into different outfits. The last outfit was in a tutu. They just had so much fun. I had a young lady come after that, was fairly athletic. She looked quite good. She had a little bit of a bulge, but and she kept on telling me, "Oh, Hush, make sure my tummy's flat. Make sure that when you Photoshop me, that you take my tummy out because if it's not flat enough, I really want this flat tummy to go. Really want my tummy to be as flat as possible." And in my brain, all I was saying is, please go to gym if you really feel that you know got an extra a bit of fat tummy. So yeah, just be yourself when you meet with the photographer. Whoever the photography is, be yourself. Be authentic. Be spontaneous. Be fun, and we will capture those images for you.
Thanks very much for that. And then if you can just tell us the different kinds of photography that you do, so people know that it's not just portrait photograph. I know that you did some work with a couple of restaurants recently, taking photographs of food for delivery during lockdown. And yeah, if we can just understand a little bit about your versatility and what you are able to do. And if someone does want to book a photo shoot with you, how would they go about doing that?
Okay, so my core business, as I always say to people, is event photography, conferences, big conferences. And as Kim mentioned earlier, and I did the SAPPs, which is the South African Film and Television Awards. So that was my core business, a lot of that type of photography. I do as well, I do weddings. It's not, over the years I've done many weddings, so I kind of enjoy doing maybe 3 or 4 in a year, which gives me versatility and creativity. I do family shoots, I do newborn shoots as well. One of my favorite genres of photography is maternity shoots, because it's new life. So I really have fun doing maternity shoots. I've worked with, during lockdown, I worked with Uber Eats. I did a lot of the restaurants for them. I photographed the restaurant's food. We basically just presented nicely on a plate. I have done some recipe books as well, so I can do food photography. And then just creative photography, like, if you need anything creatively done with your products and that, we can do that as well. Different lighting studio. So making your products stand out and making it look great. So yeah, I can do car photography. I just need a big studio for that. That's also, I'm finding lately with lockdown, it's brought out a lot of the creativity side of us, a lot of us photographers. So we've been doing a lot of product creative photographing, which has been giving us a lot of fun, because the event industry is still not yet. You can book us. I'll send Kim my email address. The easiest way is to get me on email or on WhatsApp, just to send me a message, exactly what you're requiring, and we can put a quotation together for you. I know lockdown, COVID-19 has affected us all. So a lot of us have been teasing. We're calling it the COVID special. So we have a couple of us photographers. We have specials out there just for during COVID time now to basically survive. And then next year, when everything gets back to normal, or sort of the new normal, as everybody's saying, gets back to the new normal, we'll be able to do a lot more events in that.
Just on the specials that you're talking about, we have chatted about this beforehand. In terms of the authors, would you be open to doing almost like a group session where people book for your time as a group, and then obviously it can't be like hundreds of authors, but a couple of authors, so that they can all get a professional photo done, but they are paying like a flat rate for that group to come through? Would you be open to that?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Excellent. So I want to say thank you so much for participating today. It's been really great having you on, and thank you very much for making my journey into being an author so much easier, so much more relaxed. Hush has photographed myself, and he's photographed my editor, and I'm hoping to work with you on a lot more projects. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Bye for now.
Bye. God bless. Bye.